So I will invite our next speaker, Burkhard Wilke. Wilke is the managing director and scientific director of the German Central Institute for Social Issues, DZI, in Berlin. He holds a degree in macroeconomics or macroeconomics? Macroeconomics. He has also educated as a journalist. Since the year 2000, Burkhard serves as executive director of the German Central Institute for Social Issues, the DZI in Berlin. DZI, founded in 1893, is well known as the independent monitoring body for charities in Germany, awarding the DZI seal of approval. DZI also operates the important German library and literature database for social work and publishes the highly reputed monthly Soziale Arbeit magazine. Burkhard Wilke also represents DZI on the international level. For many years, he served as a board member of Charity Monitoring Worldwide, formerly known as International Committee on Funding Organizations, the Worldwide Association of Independent Charity Monitoring Bodies. The title of his lecture is Helping the Helpers, Siddy Wronsky, board member and CEO of Archive der Wohlfahrtspflege, Berlin, as a pioneers of social work education and documentation in Germany. So please.
Yes, thanks a lot, Tanya, for this kind introduction and for the invitation to this great event. It really is an honor for Stephanie, I may tell, also for Diana and me, to have been invited here to Jerusalem and to this important event, which also is a kind of final stage of this. Of the whole project, which I hope, as it was said before, might be the first step for a next project, for further cooperation. And, what I would like to do with some few slides and some few information is to create some bridges between the novel of Siddy Wronsky, which was discovered by Ayana, and between today's work at DZI, at this institute, which she influenced so much also as well, before she emigrated to Palestine and today's Israel. So let me give you some short information on her private and professional life to make it a little bit more easier for you to understand the background of the novel. Siddy Wronsky was born as Sarah Sidonie Neufeld on 20th of July 1883. I'm sorry, that's a spelling mistake, in Berlin. Her parents, the banker, Max Neufeld, and his wife Thekla, had 7 children, so Siddy had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. She was the second oldest of that big number of children. After graduating, Siddy Neufeld completed a 2-year postgraduate course in curative and special education, which at that time was a typical kind of profession where women were able to find and seek to find a strong own professional basis. So then she worked as a teacher for mentally handicapped children in Berlin. Just in this time, in 1909, she got married to Eugen Wronsky, a man somewhat older as her. We can see about 20 years older, and it's little known about their marriage, but something is known about their professional cooperation. So already in 1906, in addition to her main work as a teacher in Berlin for handicapped children, Siddy started her work at today's DZI. In 1906, she took responsibility in the management of the so-called Archive for Welfare, which had emerged in 1906 from the more informal information center of an association called German Society for Ethical Culture. This society was founded in Berlin in 1892. It was quite a movement coming from the US, from America, and those societies for ethical culture had the goal, had the vision to create more ethical basements for society independently from religious values and from religious bindings. So in Germany it was created in 1892 in Berlin, and 1 year later, in May 1893, this society established an information center, which is the nucleus of later Archive for Welfare and of today's DZI, which I have the honor to work with and to be the director of with, and together with Stephanie Pigorz doing the main works of DZI. So Siddy Wronsky, for example, in 1910, they together were the editors of a book. It was called Grey Book. It's an incident, and accidentally, that in her novels she speaks of the grey city in the north, and there the color grey and the grey city in the north apparently is meant to be Berlin. It could be another city as well, but there is a big probability that it's Berlin. And the Grey Book has a different background. It was first time published by her predecessors at Archive for Welfare in 1896, and the binding, so the cover, the back cover and the front cover of the book was in grey color. And that's why it was called, as a kind of nickname, the Grey Book. The official title always was more that it is a guide through the social Berlin. So a guide, a kind of compendium of all social institutions, organizations in the city of Berlin. And this Grey Book has developed as the main handbook for social workers in Berlin, to look in and to see which kind of institutions and social activities could serve to their clients, to the people in need. So the Grey Book was really an important and quite a successful publication. The fourth edition, as said, was edited by Siddy Wronsky and her husband Eugen Wronsky in 1910. And by the way, the book was continuously published till 1996. The 17th edition was the last edition then. It was also published as a CD-ROM, but afterwards the information available on the internet took the place and made it not anymore necessary to put this information into a book. So that is one example for the practical work of Siddy Wronsky at DZI. But furthermore, Siddy Wronsky in 1914 stepped into the board of DZI's former institute. She was a member of the board of the Archive for Welfare, and from 1923 to 1933, for 10 years, she was the first full-time director, full-time executive director of DZI. So I have the honor to be a very modest successor now, and I'm the sixth executive director since Siddy Wronsky. So you can see that the basis which she achieved and which she created at the Institute have proved to be quite stable in order to preserve and to develop the Institute's activities to today's needs. Also, for example, in April 1925, she established the so-called Deutsche Zeitschrift für Wohlfahrtspflege, the German magazine for welfare work, welfare activities. She edited this magazine together with a colleague called Oskar Karstedt, and here you see the front cover of the very first page. In another recent digitalization project, we managed to digitalize all the 20 years of volumes of Deutsche Zeitschrift für Wohlfahrtspflege. So getting on the links of DZI's website, you can read this newspaper as a PDF still today. So also Siddy contributed significantly to establishing education for social work in Germany, together, for example, with Ali Salomon, Berta Pappenheim, and other strong professional women, and also men. And we will hear more on this at today's symposium and even in the evening. So, helping the helpers, which is a kind of the main mission and vision of her work, but also of our institute of DZI of today. That means helping the helpers to do their work more professionally, to make it more better, more effective. And that was Siddy Wronsky's mission. And the magazine she had founded, which had stopped to be published in 1944, was followed then by the magazine Soziale Arbeit, which was founded in 1951 and is still today being published. I brought some printed copies here on the table. You find it here, and Stephanie is the leading editor and is doing the editing work together with me and another colleague, Julia Brielmeier, at DZI today. And it is published in one of the main and reputed publishing houses, Nomos, in Germany. So what about Siddy Wronsky? We will learn more about this today. So briefly to mention, Siddy Wronsky emigrated to Palestine maybe in 1934, maybe in 1933. The sources are not so very... Okay, so back and forth, maybe more 33. So maybe after I learned from today's symposium, I will correct and change this slide into 1933. So it was a heavy time, a difficult time, but it was also the vision of Zionism, as we learned, which motivated her to go to Palestine and to emerge to one of the founders of social work profession as well as social work discipline in the emerging state of Israel. She died half a year before the state of Israel was founded. She died in December 1947, and it will be a great opportunity, and thank you very much to all of our colleagues here in Jerusalem that today we might have the opportunity to view and to walk to some of the historical sites. Let me close my remarks with some brief information about what is DZI, and the abbreviation, believe me, is more simple than the complete name, Deutsches Zentralinstitut für Soziale Fragen. What is DZI today? So, as I said, it was founded in 1893 by women and men like Jeannette Schwerin, which was the teacher, the mentor of Ali Salomon, which then, together with Siddy Wronsky, founded the education of social work in Germany. DZI is active in the field of documentation and information on the theory and practice of social work. We have a library, a literature database, the monthly journal Social Work, Soziale Arbeit. As a second kind of activity, and also this started in the initial phase in 1893, DZI is going to advise people helping other people and public benefit causes by giving donations. So not by being a social worker, but by giving cash donations or voluntary work, so by being donors. And we help those helpers by providing information and judgments how reliable is a certain charity. So nowadays people come to DZI and get advice whom charities you can trust and whom you maybe should not trust so much. So as part of this activity we have established the DZI charity seal. And another proof of the quality of the work of Siddy Wronsky, when you look today's statutes, the constitution of DZI today, the constitutional goals are practically identical to what have been formulated in 1923 when the statutes were completely renovated by Siddy Wronsky and her colleagues at that time. So nowadays, DZI's board is composited of 5 institutions. The city government of Berlin. Our chairperson is Chancel Kieseltepe. She's the Minister of Social Affairs in the county, in the city of Berlin. She's has been born in Berlin, but her origins are from Turkey. So there is another fascinating and important migration story in our governance structure today. Even the Federal Ministry for Education, Family Affairs is sitting on the board of DZI, the German Association of Cities, the Association of German Chamber of Commerce, so the economy, and the Free Federal Association for non-governmental welfare work. That is, for example, the German Red Cross, the German Caritas, the Protestant Welfare, the Workers' Welfare Organizations. So they are sitting on the board as well. And so this composition covering 3 sectors, the state, the economy sector, and the public benefit sector, guarantees a kind of independence, which is important for DZI's work today. We have about 20 staff members, a budget of 1.7 million euro, which we earn more than half of it, 55% by own income, by providing the seal of approval, which is monitored by selling the monthly magazine, Social Work, the database, Solid, of course, all for prices which can be afforded by the institutions which want to use it. And 45% public subsidies especially, and some small private subsidies. So some numbers. Our literature database, Solid, it was established in 1978, so quite early for such a digital database covering social work literature. It covers 250,000 documents now. We are focused on documenting magazines, not so much books, some books, but we are documenting the main 160 specialized journals on social work in German language, and some few also in English language. We have the DZI library with many magazines documented since the 1880s, 1890s, and our magazine. And in the second activity, the donor advisory service, we, for example, 230 German charities like Red Cross, like Doctors Without Borders Germany, go voluntarily to be monitored by DZI. We publish our judgments on these organizations, and if they are positive, they can use the DZI seal of approval as a symbol of trust in their advertising. We also have tips for donors, and we provide charity statistics, which also is a historical activity, because we found that in 1911 our predecessors published the first donation statistics for the former Germany at that time. So even providing numbers, how much money is donated, which public benefit causes get the most money, what are the motivations for private donors to give money to charities. Also, this is the kind of transparency DZI wants to bring into the public benefit sector. Okay, thank you very much.